Welcome to Serving Locally with me, your host, Michelle Dinas, a podcast where we spotlight service in the Longmont and surrounding communities. All right, let's connect. Hi, welcome to this episode. We are featuring Hope Lives, and this is Elise. This is Elise Carver, and I just wanted to take a second and say thank you for being on the show today, and I'm excited for what you have to talk about. And so we'll go ahead and open it up with just who are you and what is Hope Lives, and just a quick little overview.
Sure. Well, thanks for having us. We really appreciate the additional exposure. So my name's Elise Carver. I'm the executive director for Hope Lives. And we are a local to Northern Colorado breast cancer. Our full name is Hope Lives Lydia Dody Breast Cancer Support Center. That's a mouthful. And if you saw our small office, it's not what you might think of as a center, but we still are really a hub to be able to offer support in a lot of different ways, which I'll talk about. So we are going into, I'd say, probably our 22nd year. It's a little funky because we were founded in 2001, but we started services in 2002. So that's why it's sometimes like, okay, what year are we getting into? So we were founded by Lydia Dody, and she is a well-known businesswoman in Northern Colorado, especially in Fort Collins. So she started No Coast Style magazine more than 35 years ago. And she felt compelled to start Hope Lives when she went through her own breast cancer journey. And because she was so connected into the community, a lot of people offered or advice or contacts to sort of help improve her quality of life when she was going through treatment. Things like acupuncture and massage and lymphedema massage and counseling and just all kinds of things, integrative modalities. And so she felt like it helped her so much that she just felt compelled. She said she had to, learn how to start a nonprofit, and it's certainly different than in a traditional business perspective, but she just felt very compelled to be able to offer these services to other breast cancer clients. So as I said, essentially we exist to just try to improve quality of life when folks are going through treatment. Being a small nonprofit, we see our clients all the time. They come in when they get onboarded. And for me personally, I look at these women and they're no different than I am or any of us are, right? Because it's all different age ranges. And I think about putting myself in their position, and the diagnosis would obviously be very scary and uncertain, and the treatment scares me almost as much, especially the chemo. Folks just get so sick. Mm-hmm. So we exist to try to improve quality of life, try to help mitigate some of the financial and emotional and physical struggles that our clients go to, give them hope like that's in our name, give them all kinds of resources. So essentially how our program works is that we give our clients a set of vouchers. Right now it's still paper vouchers. We'd like to automate one of these days. And then we give them a list of providers. So we contract out with various providers in the community, and we vet them out. So we get, we're very protective of our flock. And so we give them a list of our providers. And what I love, many things about our program that I love, is that we don't dictate how they use them. We just say, here's a list. Why don't you mix and match? Or if there's something in particular that you feel like that need whatever they need. And what's nice is it's kind of like free money, so that they might think, oh, I've kind of wanted to try acupuncture, but, I just haven't, or I didn't really have the funding, and it just allows them to kind of, mix and match. And then hopefully it's a good thing for our providers too. It certainly, most of them will say it fills their cup just with what they do, but we hope that relationships form and that they continue to see each other, or they bring their friends and their family, and we believe in, all of our money for our program goes to paying the providers. They usually give us very generous discounts, but we believe it's very important to honor their livelihood and professionalism. And the other thing I'll say is that we try to make the qualifications easy. So you just need to be 18 years of age or older, and either living in Larimer or Weld counties. And I realize Longmont, I think, is Boulder, isn't it? But pretty close to these other ones.
Close to surrounding areas.
Right?
Yeah.
So the other nice thing is if someone is seeking treatment in Larimer or Weld County, they would also qualify as well. So yeah, that's a bit about us.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
We have had many women in family and extended family have breast cancer. So that is near and dear to my heart. That you want to improve quality of life for these women that are going through this struggle. Yeah.
Sure. Well, I'm sorry that you have personal connections. Unfortunately, I don't know if there's really any of us that doesn't.
Exactly.
So
yeah, it's a good thing to pull the community together and connect and help everybody out on that.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Give us a little background about your organization.
Yeah, sure. So I kind of already gave you kind of how we got started. Mm-hmm. Our brick and mortar office is in Fort Collins, and we're kind of in Midtown. We started off in Larimer County, and in more recent years, we also have expanded to Weld. We'd love to, at some point, someday, to be able to offer support for folks in other kinds of cancer treatment. Unfortunately, fortunately and unfortunately, we're a very small nonprofit. Fortunately, we get to see the difference we make, on a daily basis. And I get to learn all aspects of how to run a nonprofit because I came on I was recruited right when the pandemic went down. So I don't even know what normal looks because we are small. We want to make sure that we always meet our scope of at least making sure we take care of our breast cancer clients. But we have high goals of being able to serve not only other types of cancer, but extend our service area, as well. So hopefully we'll get there. And so a couple of other things about us, our numbers have more than doubled in the last 2 years. And that's real dubious working for a breast cancer nonprofit. I do a lot of networking because one of my jobs as executive director is really community engagement and getting the word out and doing these exact kinds of things. And it's always dubious when I'm out there because a lot of times small businesses, these networking things are about growing their small business. And I'm like, I kind of wish our organization would close because if there was a cure for breast cancer, I'd gladly go find a job somewhere else. Right. But until that happens, we're just grateful that we can meet more need. And so they think that one of the reasons why our client numbers have went up so much is another, unfortunately, side effect of the pandemic, that mammograms were missed either because they couldn't get in or because of the world falling apart. Yeah. And so, it's even that much more important to continue our important mission. And the other thing we're really proud about that I need to get better about really advertising is that we started a survivorship program this year. And we're really proud about that and excited about that. And our program manager, Nikki, is a survivor and a past Hope Lives client. And she's worked with Deanna with an organization called Soul Agency. And they really call this a movement. They really want this to be a movement. So every month we have a different location where there's a speaker series. We also give them a voucher if they come and attend so that they can go get a massage or do something themselves, because oftentimes once initial treatment is done, boy, they could still really use the support and they just feel like a very different person and their body is different. It takes your body a long
time to heal. Even if it's gone, it's a new normal that you have to get used to.
Right, exactly. And especially as women, it just robs us of so many things that are part of our, femininity, and then fear of recurrence and things like that. So, we have lots of goals that we want to get to, and we also want to make sure that, we continue to meet that mission that we are originally founded on. So we're 100% local. Everything stays in Northern Colorado, directly to support, our folks who need us.
That's fantastic. Mm-hmm. What is your focus at Hope Lives?
So kind of I alluded to before, our focus really is support. It's really just trying to improve quality of life when folks are going through treatment. It's interesting. We have our clients come into our office, as I mentioned, and not only do we give them the vouchers, and Nikki's so good at her job. She came on with us last year, and we're so grateful for her. Often, our clients almost always will feel the need to cry and just be able to talk about their fears and their body changing and the future and grief and, worry. And so often, she's kind of a sounding board for that, even though everybody's journeys are different. There's still that, that commonality. And we're also a resource forum. We have all kinds of different resources out there to say, have you checked on this group? Have you, all kinds of different things. And one of the things I think that I really enjoy too is we kind of load them up before they leave, because we just keep getting more things from the community to give to them for free. And it's really cool. So, we have like Scott's Auto that gives them free oil changes for a year, and Breeze Through Car Wash, and the Human Being with coupons, and we've got several King Supers cards from various people, because sometimes they could really use a hand up with that. And the other thing that we have is as an assortment of gently used items that either clients don't need anymore, or unfortunately when someone passes away and they're cleaning out their stuff. So we have a bunch of used wigs, because those can be a lot, very expensive, and mastectomy supplies and prosthetics. And we have church groups that knit blankets, and a quilt group that makes beautiful quilts, and we just load them up. And that's probably my favorite part, because you can have someone that'll come in and they're bald, or they've got a ball cap on, and they're just not feeling very good about themselves, and they leave with this beautiful wig loaded up with things that it gives me the chills even now.
Right? Me too, because that's my love language, is gifts. So
yeah, right?
To give gifts and to make stuff for people, and then just see that. Yeah, it makes a huge difference for them.
It does. And to get they're usually overwhelmed when they leave, because they're loaded with stuff. And then we'll usually say, and this is also a reminder that this whole community is behind you.
Right.
Like all of the stuff was from the community. And so so they're wrapping their arms around you and loving on you too. So yeah, absolutely. So it's really touching. And it just makes them they're almost always incredulous. Like, really, I'm getting, all of the stuff. And yet they just, it's very touching to all of us when they come in. So it's important and meaningful work.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I love learning all this stuff.
Right? Yeah.
I wish I had more hours in the day, so I could devote like an hour every day to all these
to learn more about these. Yeah. Absolutely.
I am truly blessed to sit here and learn, and
I would feel the same way.
it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. All right, cool. We're ordained Stephen ministers.
Oh, nice.
So to have that, to have somebody be there to just let them talk. That's
good for you guys. I don't know a ton about the program. I know a bit.
Yeah, we're just after people. We're just schedule time to talk and just communicate with people, and just have them just work through whatever they're going through, and just be there to be consistent and caring and listen. So yeah, I like
good
that.
for you guys.
Yeah,
I appreciate that you grow in with people when it's a difficult time, and like you said, just allowing them to. It's amazing how beneficial that can be sometimes, just for people to be able to talk and feel like someone is listening to them.
Just to be listened to.
Yeah.
And not in a safe environment.
Yeah.
And that's hard to find.
Yeah. Right.
All right. What makes the work of Hope Lives different than other similar serving organizations?
Well, we do get asked quite a bit whether we're national or if we have money that goes to research or to fund administrative endeavors or political endeavors or various things like that. And I think one of the things that really makes us unique is that we are 100% local. 100% of our funding goes direct client, care, as I've already mentioned. I think that makes us very unique. We don't do anything with research or, education in that sense. We educate with, local resources and stuff. And I think that's all wonderful, and we need it because we want to be able to have a cure someday, and the research and all that's really important. But that's just, not what we do. We provide, direct care, and it's, again, completely local. It's always amazing because October is a big month for us because it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Yes.
So we always have people that reach out to us and say, we want to do some sort of fundraiser or something else, which is great. Because like I said, our costs have went up this year and last year too, with more clients and the survivorship program. And sometimes as the executive director, I'm scrutinizing the budget and I'm like, oh my gosh. But I just have to continue to believe that we're doing good work and we'll be taken care of, and folks will be taken care of as well. And we've been able to do that. We haven't had to turn anyone away. But I think that is one of the things that does really make us unique. Is when I was finishing my thought with that, and so in October when people reach out, I will always have. In fact, I just got a phone call yesterday when I was walking out the door. We'll have people, even as south as Denver, companies that will reach out to us and they will say, we tried to find something like you guys and we could not find it down here. So if we have to ship the money up north, then that's what we'll do. And I'm always amazed by that, especially in Denver being as big as it is, that happens. And yesterday, we just had the same thing. We have a swim meet. And that's one of the cool things too, with us being so community driven, is it really does take a community. I mean, we have Girl Scout groups that collect self-care stuff. We had a sorority from UNC just drop off a check. We've got a men's group in Greeley called the T-Hogs, the Trophy Husbands of Greeley. Nice. And they gave us... I had a check presentation with the T-Hogs, and they're a hoot.
That's awesome.
And, to all kinds of businesses that, want to give back. And that's another thing that I just truly love, is that it really does take this whole community, and it's, that's really special too. So I think that's probably what makes us the most unique.
That's great. Mm-hmm. I like all of that.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
That's one of the things that's so fun. You just get the call, or we had the sorority just show up, or had the message that the T-Hogs picked us as one of their charities. And it's a lot of fun, and it's just humbling. And I moved, I'd been kind of all over, but I had been in the Denver area for a number of years, and I moved up north in 2018. And I think that's been one of the things that's been most gratifying me personally, is just so much more of a community, feel, especially then working for a small nonprofit, just seeing like, wow, it really does take everyone, working together for the greater good.
Yeah. I feel all of that.
Yeah.
I feel it.
Yeah.
So what are your greatest needs?
Well, if you talk to any small nonprofit, they will probably say funding is right up there at the top. Yes. We are 100% relying on soft money and community donations, because we aren't traditional on the medical side. I worked for a hospice before this, and the majority of their funding comes from Medicare, but we don't get any help, for any kind of government assistance, because we aren't a traditional, medical organization, if you will. So especially me being the executive director, I'm constantly hustling, constantly. In fact, I have race flowers in my purse in case anybody wants one.
Good, yes, always.
But I'm just constantly hustling because I feel a responsibility. I want to make sure that all of these women, I say women because all of our clients are currently women, but men do get breast cancer as well, and we would absolutely help them as well. But I feel a huge responsibility to make sure that we can continue to help them. So fundraising is always right up there at the top. But I want it to be, when I'm out in the community, I like it to I kind of talked about this with the providers. I like it to be a win-win. So, hey, a business wants to partner with us in October or some other time. Maybe it's a restaurant that says on a Monday night, we'll give you 20% of the proceeds. Okay, great. Well, that's an easy ask for on our side of it. Doesn't take a lot of bandwidth. And maybe we bring in a few more customers than you would normally have on a Monday. Yeah. And then everybody wins with it going to, the folks that need it. Or we'll have partners that I'll say, you guys are being too humble. You need to say this. In my humble opinion, should put this on your website. These are the people you support, because other community members should know that you're civic minded and community minded. And, so when I'm out there, I always want it to be sort of a win-win. And so with fundraising, it very easily, I hope that it can be something that's mutually beneficial for many ways, whether it's, on the emotional side of it or whether it's financially. And every little bit helps. We're a small nonprofit. $50 donation buys one service, and most of the time. So sometimes people think like they have to have some sort of grandiose effort, and it really doesn't. It's all of these things put together that, really matter. we can always use volunteers, that whole time, talent, or treasure. So if your heart is with volunteering, and that's where mine has been my whole life. So I'm glad to kind of move from the corporate world into the nonprofit world. And that's everything from, we could use basic office help. We could use volunteers around events. We could use help with grant writing that I haven't been able to touch because, we're so small, social media, all those kinds of things that for a small organization, we can't always get to. We're always looking for more providers. So if there's somebody that, everything, like I said, from acupuncture, massage, lymphedema massage, counseling, nutrition, wigs, mastectomy supplies, house cleaning, energy work, hypnotherapy. We brought on a hypnotherapist recently. So we're always open to, everything started with an idea. And the more providers we have, it just gives that people that many more choices. And even if we have 10 acupuncturists, because it is probably our most common service, I still like to have them spread out so that people don't have to drive as far, or maybe they can get in sooner. So if there's an interest in any way, there's, a spot that we could certainly use help for. And really just spreading the word, because it really comes down to, we want to make sure that anybody in active treatment for breast cancer or as a survivor, that we help. So making sure that those referral systems are strong as well to, that's ultimately what it all boils down to.
Yeah. Do you have any events coming up or any volunteer opportunities?
Yes. So we have resuscitated our 5K like I said, I came on in 2020. It used to be called the Pink Boa, hence the name. We gave out pink boas. And my recollection not my recollection but the documents have been able to gather. The last time we did it was 2016, I believe.
Oh, wow.
So it's been a while since we've done it, but especially with their numbers going up, and we're like, let's try to do it again. So it's now called Running for Hope, because the place where we're having it really doesn't want to have the mess of boas all over the place. It's on trails of a little environmental center, and didn't want to deal with,
That's all good.
All of that. That'll be on Saturday, May 20th. And it took us a long time to find a spot, believe it or not. But the spot that we landed on is actually, I prefer it now. So there's two little lakes right across the street from MCR Hospital in Loveland called Houts and Equalizer lakes. They're really just tucked right in there in Centerra. I didn't even know they existed. But I think it's great because it's more centrally located. We had been looking for parks in Fort Collins, and because it's right off the highway, it's closer for the Weld folks. It's still right there, very central in Larimer County, not that far away from Longmont. So it'll be there, and we will have all of our pre and post race activities in one of the parking lots there. McWhinney's donating that space. And then the trails are actually owned by High Plains Environmental Center. It's just a little tiny tucked in little environmental center there. And they're donating the space as well. So you can see the mountains from there. It's actually a really sweet little area that I didn't even know about. So you can go on to hopelives.org. That is our website. And you can get all kinds of information about, becoming a provider, becoming a client, volunteering. But we also have flyers with our events, both our 5K and our survivorship program. And registration's been a little slow. I kind of blame it on the snowy, cold weather, that people really weren't thinking about outside stuff. And so, it's in a month from tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so absolutely, we really could use more participants. We call it a run, but there'll be plenty of people walking. Or if you have someone that you want to walk who's a survivor, or certainly someone who's passed away, you can get teams. If you have teams of 4 or more, it's slightly cheaper. And then we have a reduced price for youth as well. So we're trying to make it reasonable for everybody. And then I'll just do a little teaser that we're having our 4th annual golf tournament at Highland Meadows in Windsor on Monday, September 18th, and we'll have that up on the website too. That was our big pivot in 2020, because we would normally have this big indoor gala, which is either next February or next March. We're solidifying the dates on that, but we couldn't do these big indoor activities, so we decided to try our hand at a golf tournament. So we're at our 4th annual. It's been really successful. I've still never played golf, and I'm the one that's that's overseeing this one too. So that was daunting the first year. I'm literally looking up golf terms,
Right?
like talking myself off the ledge. Like, but we pulled it off. You know, where there's a will, there's a way, and so that's been really successful and a lot of fun. And we're hoping that the race will, you know, pick up steam. I think also because we just hadn't done it for so long too. So I think both of those will pick up steam, and then we'll have our, you know, our gala next year that has been around for a long time as well. One of the things that's really special about the gala is that towards the end of the night we have what we call a fashion show, which I don't know really why we call that. It's not like they change outfits, it's ball gowns, but it's current client ambassadors, and they get to have gowns donated by Macy's and have their hair, if they have hair. Last year we had one of our young gals, she had a wig on and she walked out on the runway and then threw the wig out in the audience. It was great. But they get a chance to feel pretty and special, and then everybody goes and does a survivor dance, and we did video segments in all of them. So we played a little 1-minute video, so the audience got a chance to see her, and then she got to walk out with her family, and you know, it was really touching. And then we can recycle those videos and use them on social media, because they're all hometown people that just live in our community that's been touched personally by it. So yeah, lots of things to keep us busy to make sure that we can ultimately still take care of everybody.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. I'm that person. In fact, afterwards, I'm like, where can I hang some flyers in downtown Longmont before I head back up for another meeting?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm that person. But
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
So how can people contact and find out more about Hope Lives?
Yeah, I would say, like I mentioned, our website, which we have some really exciting things coming down too. We're in our final, in fact, today I have to send our 6th finalists. We're redoing our logo after 20-some years. We feel like we need a refresh, and so we've been using this company that it's kind of a contest with all these different designers, and so that's been fun. And we're also doing a website revamp, which has been needed. Both of those were donated to us, so it's
awesome.
amazing.
Yes.
So stay tuned, but hopefully it's been a long project. You know, websites take a while with redesign, I'm finding out. But hopefully in the next couple of months, we'll have a new website. But in the meantime, and it will stay hopelives.org. And that's, again, where you can find out all kinds of information about us. You can certainly call the office, 970-225-6200. You can certainly reach out to me, Elise, at hopelives.org. We also have info@hopelives.org is another kind of inbox that we check. You can always Google us if you forgot any of the rest of this information. Yeah.
You're on Facebook and Instagram.
Yep. Hope Lives Colorado for Facebook, and Instagram, I think, is Hope Lives FC for Fort Collins, I think.
Okay.
I'm not the social media person.
I will have it on my QR code and under my. I think I already have it there. Yeah, so as always, you can go and look under serving partnerships and find they're in alphabetical order. So
oh, good. Because I took a social media class this week, and I was like, okay, this is a good reality check. I am dating myself with this.
I would like to take that class. I'm working on it, but it's hard.
Yeah, there was
always new stuff.
Right, especially with all the AI stuff and all the bots. And, you know, you wonder how many times you think you're talking to a person and you're really not. So, yeah it's fascinating and scary at the same token.
It's a huge monster. Yes. But yeah, so I'll have all that information in the show notes also for anywhere that they find this, and I'll probably post a little infograph also with that stuff. And yeah. All right. Is there anything else you would like to add or talk about?
I just think that I was thinking about that on the drive over here today, and I think that sometimes people feel like, and I think I kind of talked about it before, that you know, like what they have to offer might be insignificant or something, and it's really not. So if there's any kind of interest at all, whether it's us or another small nonprofit, we need the help. You know, I'm the only full-time employee, and then we have a part-time program manager who oversees the clients and the providers. We have a contracted out accountant, and then we have a small board. So there's always opportunity, whether it's us or so many other really worthwhile nonprofits that are out there. And it's just, I think, deciding where the interest is, where your heart is, where your heart is, where you, so that you don't feel like it's a burden. And whether it's us again or someone else, and if that's funding, and that's great, because, you know, we all kind of worry about, you know, where the future is with finances, and we really worry as nonprofits that, you know, as discretionary funding or fear or whatever set in, it's going to affect us. And again, we just have to believe that, you know, we're just going to continue to do the work that we do, or like I said, maybe wanting to be a provider, and or if people have things that they want to donate, those community items, you know, that if there are quilters or knitters, or you have hats even that you want to donate, because so many folks need winter hats, but then they need some cooler hats, you know, in the summertime, and you have old wigs, you know, if there's just something that you can think of that might bring someone some comfort. And again, we're always open to suggestions too. So there's just lots of ways to plug in, whether it be us or anyone else.
That's great to add. Yeah. Yes. And I appreciate that, to help anywhere. Just, wherever your heart is at, go there. And you'll be rewarded in ways that you won't expect.
It's so true. I mean, our so many days, and especially around this race and stuff, it can be exhausting, and it's long days. And, you know, again, it's going to every networking thing and hanging the flyers and doing all this stuff, especially around events. But I mean, it's so worthwhile. All of this, I mean, there's just, everybody has their own stories, and I'm touched every single time someone comes in.
Yes.
I was thinking the other thing when I was driving over here, I would probably say that ones that touch me the most, and I'm not a mother, and I'm certainly not young, but it's the young moms that really get me, because, you know, here they are going through this arduous treatment, and yet they're still trying to be a mom to their kids. And those are the ones that really, and I guess the other thing I would say, if I have just a moment, is breast cancer is not an older person's disease anymore. I can't tell you how many clients we have in our 30s and now in our 20s, all the way up to 60, 70, 80. So I would say just really advocate, you know, for yourself, especially as young women. You're not getting mammograms, you know, so at least be doing self-checks, maybe go do the HER scans, even if it's out of pocket. You know, we brought on someone last week who's stage 3, she's in her 30s, she has a toddler. You know, it's another one that just grips you. And she said she found a lump right after she had her son. And because she was young, and because it was right after having her son, the doctors just kind of poo-pooed, and they were like, "Oh, it's nothing. You know, it's just hormones.
You're not old enough."
Right. And so she had to really advocate for herself. So that would probably be my you know, parting message, is just in general, whether you're going through treatment or you're trying to avoid it, just really, we need to, you know, advocate for ourselves. And I know it's easier said than done, because we're not the professionals. We're hoping, you know, that they are. But I think that there's a lot more that, you know, we can be doing as women to try to just be as proactive as we can.
Oh my goodness, that hits on so many things. That yes, be your own advocate, and if you, because you nobody knows you like you do.
Yeah, absolutely. And she said it took like going to 3 different doctors or whatever just to get the scans to say, no, I am not, this is not normal, and does not feel right. You know, so yeah, absolutely. But there's lots of good things too. You know, I was talking to somebody else this week that it was like, especially because we're, you know, I think it was that social media class, because you're supposed to be posting however many times a week. And we don't always want to be doom and gloom, A. B, I want to always be having to beg people for money. So we also do want to have educational things, or just showing the positive side. You know, our name is Hope Lives. And so there is hope even in the most dire, you know, situations. So there's plenty of, you know, good stuff that happens too, and just being willing to just kind of row in with all of it. So
be your own advocate. Absolutely. And advocate for your kids too.
Yeah. Yeah. So
that's fantastic. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on today. And I look forward to hopefully being able to volunteer at the run.
Thank you.
My heart is there. I want to be there. I'll be recovering from surgery, so we'll see how we're doing.
Yeah, of course.
But anything else I can do would be great. Find their information. I'll post their stuff when it's posted on your social media. I forward that on.
Thank you.
And get out there and find where your heart wants to be, and volunteer, whatever that is. We don't have money, so I volunteer time.
Yeah, exactly.
This is my contribution, and my heart is in so many places. I want to help everybody. So just having something like this it's really fulfilling for me, and I hope that it's making a difference for many organizations and then people to connect together.
Oh, absolutely. We were just talking the other day, even if we had someone who could come in a few hours a week and help us in the office with those kinds of things that are just so that we can concentrate on the other stuff, right? You know, so absolutely. Absolutely. It's all very important.
Very much. Well, thank you so much, Elise. I really appreciate you coming all the way down here.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
talking with us. And
thank you for having us. We really do appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you to my guests, my listeners, and my supporters. Serving together, we can strengthen our community. Please like and subscribe. Do all those other things. You know you got to do them. Because that's the easiest way that you can serve right now. All right, now go. Connect with others and be a blessing.